Welcome, friends and enemies, to Weekly Allowance, YouTube's only YouTube channel. And today is a very special day because we are looking at our first figure in the new OxKrewe wave from Cosmic Legions. It's been a bit since we've looked at a Cosmic Legions figure. The OxKrewe Book 1 Thraxon wave just came out, and this was the figure I was most excited for. If you know me, you know I love the creatures. I love the creepies and the crawlies, and this looks like a pretty creepy crawly creature. I really hope that Four Horsemen does more creatures like this in the future. So let's go ahead and take a look. Really cool packaging, different than the Mythic Legions figures we're used to. Of course, this is also a special case because it's an animal, it's large, it needs a different kind of box. A very kind of poisonous color scheme with the purple and green. You've got a picture of the figure on the front. On the sides, you just get descriptions of the OxKrewe storyline and the character, or in this case, the creature. This is the Lowland Scapeback. Then on the back, a big old list of all the current Cosmic Legions figures that are out. So let's go ahead and open this up. We've been waiting on OxKrewe for a while. I think it's been like 2 years. It's been a while at least. Something like that anyway. So I honestly kind of forgot what this thing looked like, and I don't think it comes with anything. I think it's just the animal. And it looks like I'm correct, except there are some alternate hands. So I had two reasons for wanting to open this one up first. One, it's the one I was most anticipating. Two, you can see a lot of paint smearing on the plastic. And this isn't completely unusual, especially in the Cosmic Legions line. Every Sphexian we got had some kind of paint smear from its face on the plastic, but the face was untouched. But there was definitely the same color of paint on the plastic. I don't really know what causes that, if they just put these in wet, but somehow the paint doesn't transfer. But you can see a lot of paint smearing, and it does look like there's some paint scrapage on these quills. Ton of paint here on the face. I just want to make sure that the paint hasn't just like completely rubbed off in those areas. It's got a front-loading clamshell. So let's take him out nice and easy. Look at the boy. Yeah, you can see all that paint on the packaging. So let's get a look at it and make sure that the paint is okay. I do see a little bit of paint transfer from the skin to the eyeball, and then there's some chips on the purple part. There's definitely some paint rubbage on these quills. So far, I'm not seeing anything that would upset me or make me want to contact Four Horsemen for a replacement. But if anyone from Four Horsemen is watching, I'm sure they're not. It is something to be aware of because, like I said, that has been an issue before, especially with the Sphexians. But like I said, there wasn't really any paint rubbage that I could see on them. There is a little bit on this guy, so it's just something to watch out for. All right, let's look at this thing. Obviously alien, but still kind of a recognizable terrestrial Earth creature body plan, which isn't a complaint. I don't think it would be wise to go too unrecognizable with creatures like this. You kind of want something that the human mind can draw upon as a comparison. I'm thinking like doggy. Evil, fat-headed doggy. Yeah, but very appropriately alien. I just love the design on this thing. So the thought is that this thing would be blending in with its environment. Thraxon, the planet where OxKrewe Book 1 takes place, is an inhospitable planet, very jagged, lots of ridges. So this thing is made to kind of blend in with its surroundings. Lots of defensive hard plates, lots of spikes. Offense, defense, this thing has got it all. It looks vicious too. So later on down the line with the OxKrewe story, they're coming out with a version of this that is more domesticated, but this one is just absolutely feral. It would be cool to have like a herd of these. We only have one, but if you got just like a bunch of them, it would be really awesome to have a pod of Scapebacks. And I love the color scheme. Purple and orange go really well together in this beautiful shade of purple. And the sculpting is just so intricate. It looks almost bug-like from above, kind of like rat-like from the bottom, kind of fish-like from the front. And for the most part, the paint is denoted pretty sharply. These ridges are purple, the skin is orange, but there are some places where it kind of like fades from orange to purple, like right there. And this is a really nice detail where it just fades on this little ridge here. Got soulless black eyes, black like a doll's eyes. And let's look at the mouth. It's got a ton of teeth. It's even got teeth on the outside of its mouth. And then the jaw opens and you can see the inside. Hit that with spot gloss. Looks wet and disgusting. Kind of a human looking tongue though. Troubling. As you can imagine, this is very top heavy. The head weighs a ton, and even the front of the body is really top loaded. The bottom half of the body is very light comparatively, very skinny, and so you get some balance issues. But let's see what this thing can do as far as articulation goes. You've got a big round ball joint for the head, a little bit of up and down. Of course, we saw that mouth open. I love that. I really prefer an articulated mouth to like an alternate head, for instance, that has the mouth open. Whenever you can do an articulated mouth, yeah, I prefer that. Now, I haven't heated this up yet, and I probably should, but it does seem a little loose in places already, so I wasn't sure if I needed to. But I guess I will go ahead and do that. Some areas might get a little looser, which I don't want, but yeah, I think it needs to be heated up a little bit. So I'll go do that and return. All right, so we have heated our creature up, and now that it's appropriately warm, you can see that the head actually has a lot more movement than I first gave it credit for, namely in the up and down department. And of course, it's still got that rotation. It also has pretty big rotation here at the waist. And a little bit of up and down there too. Sorry, it's still wet. All the legs have these hinge joints so they can go in and out. It's easier to splay the back legs than the front legs, but it can be done. And of course, back and forth movement there, elbow movement, and then there's a swivel there, up and down at the wrist, and swivel there as well. Back, up and down, knee, swivel. Then there is another joint right here where this spike is. So you've got a hinge there and another swivel, and then swivel and up and down at the back feet. There's also this little skinny rat tail, which is wired. So pretty nice articulation for this chunky boy, but also, like I said, very top heavy. And these back legs especially are kind of loose. They keep wanting to splay out. I foresee maybe needing a stand with this one, especially if you want to make use of the attacking hands. So this is the only other thing that it came with. So you can have it in a rearing position with these attached for an attack. See, kind of like that, but you're definitely going to need a stand because I don't think there's any way this is going to balance on those back legs. It's just too top heavy, and the back legs are too skinny and want to splay all over the place. But you can also get it in a pretty cool running position. Running and attacking. It's definitely a cumbersome figure. I think if it were a little bit lighter, it would be easier to maneuver, like maybe make the body hollow. I know that's not really something that Four Horsemen does. Yeah, it's just so heavy here. Like, these little skinny stick legs have a lot of weight to carry. Like I said, won't be that much of an issue if you have a stand, which I do recommend picking up a stand of some sort for this creature. You could just, you know, keep it in a terrestrial pose. But yeah, for any kind of attacking or rearing on hind legs or running pose, I foresee a stand in your future. I really love this little guy though, really funky design. So as far as size, here is how it stacks up against another figure in the wave. This is Kern Ray, and I already filmed a review for her, which is why she's open. That review will be up Saturday. But anyway, as you can see, these are pretty large creatures. These aren't really made to be rideable. As I mentioned at the beginning of the review, they are making a domesticated one that will be able to be ridden. It has a saddle and everything. I really can't see it being comfortable to ride this. You could, in theory, I guess. It would hurt though. So here is the Scapeback with a Marvel Legend figure, so you can get a better sense of what it looks like with a regular scale Hasbro figure. Even larger compared to him. So you don't have to put this with any Cosmic Legions or Mythic Legions displays. You can put it with any kind of display. And I think it'll fit in no matter what style, because it's just like an alien creature. So that's it for our first look at the OxKrewe Book 1 wave. Like I said, I just wanted to open this one up first, just to make sure the paint was okay, and because it was very much anticipated by me. I am happy with it. It is cumbersome, but I kind of expected that. We went all in on the wave, and so you can expect reviews of every single character in the line, and those will be coming up shortly. So, as always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.